All right, so Sunday we come up against our Merseyside rivals, Everton, and we know with Merseyside derbies over the years, form goes out the window, and it's just 11v11 showing passion for the club against the arch rivals. How would you start your? Would you start with the same team? Who would you change if you was?
Okay, so obviously, like you say, obviously we're playing Everton, otherwise known as blue and white shites, as I call them.
Gonna get demonetized now. We'll get demonetized now by YouTube.
The swearing.
Yeah.
Well, obviously,
it's
people,
the truth.
If you're a child, probably shouldn't be watching this. With bad language, but no. The team. Sorry, yeah, you said the team, didn't you? I would generally keep most of it. I would obviously notable changes, of course. Unfortunately, Divock Origi obviously to make way for Roberto Firmino, assuming that he is fit for the game. If he is fit for the game, then obviously I think that's a straight swap. Obviously, Divock played tonight against Watford on the left-hand side. I think Firmino obviously on the left-hand side, so basically a straight swap. I also believe Milner to make way for Henderson, and I believe that the midfield three will be Henderson, Fabinho, and Wijnaldum, and then of course the back five at the moment dictates itself. Obviously, whilst we've not got Joe Gomez back. So the back five basically as you were. So yeah, I mean the only changes essentially Milner and Origi for Henderson and Firmino respectively. They would be the only changes I would make. I think that a lot of fans, again, it'd be interesting to get your views and to get everybody else, obviously for everybody else to sort of to comment as well.
Yeah.
Keita, I think is one that a lot of fans will say should replace Milner. From the whole creative side of things going at Everton, that we should essentially go with sort of Keita, Fabinho and Wijnaldum, or that we should sort of revert to more of a 4-2-3-1 system against them, but rather than the 4-3-3. But I would stick virtually with the same team, like I say, bar the two changes. And what about you?
Yeah. With the Keita thing I'd want to add, because the game we're playing in will be a very aggressive end-to-end battle.
Yeah.
Keita, I did remember at Leipzig, I think he received something like 4 or 5 red cards in his final season. Whether that was to do with him hating the manager, because obviously he probably forced the Liverpool move more than anything.
Yes, it did.
It might be a risk to start him, but
he was a bit of a hothead, wasn't he?
Yeah,
really,
that's what I was worried about.
Yeah,
but I think I'd try and stick with probably the same 11. You can't really change much after a 5-0 win, other than the fitness of Firmino and for Origi.
Yeah,
but sort of interesting because before Christmas he did implement sort of a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, he did.
I'm wondering if, that's still in his mind, because I feel like he would have done it if he had got Fekir.
Yeah, I do.
I feel like he's missing that sort of attacking midfielder, and I thought it'd be interesting sort of as a concept, not a thing to do against Everton, because it'd be suicide if he did it. But implement Firmino as a attacking midfielder, and then maybe sort of, Origi storage up front. If it'd be an interesting concept.
It would, but I was just going to say to you there. Sorry again to cut in. The 4-2-3-1. We may see that system come back again upon the Ox's return.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? I was going to say, what do you think about sort of that idea? Because I very much feel like if Ox obviously comes back and he gets obviously into the, assuming that obviously he comes back into the team, before the end of the season that there is a possibility that we may opt, that then Klopp, should I say, may opt to revert to the 4-2-3-1 with Ox obviously in the attacking midfield position.
Yeah, I think he could. I think
It worked.
it's going to be hard to see because if we're, putting these type of a performance in week in, week out for the title run and for the Champions League, it's sort of when's the right time to play Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Like, you might see him off the bench, but
don't take the winning team.
Yeah, till probably next season when he gets a pre-season under his belt. I hope he's the same player because he was awesome when we were using him.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, it was absolutely. You know what I mean? That's the only problem where you get players, and it can happen to any player. When they have such a long, lengthy injury that's basically, virtually an entire season. That the fear is, will that player come back the same as they were before, or will it take them an awful long time, basically, to sort of regain that sort of skill level, to regain sort of the general level that they were, and sometimes, of course, that level never actually comes back. That level never materializes again. Obviously, that's not often, but it has happened, hasn't it? I've seen in the past that sort of players have had essentially almost a career-defining and career-changing injury that has then cost them their form and cost them. Well, even you could extend it to Lallana. Really, 2 seasons ago, obviously was fantastic. Obviously was at the forefront of Jurgen Klopp's teams, and then ever since that has really been on the treatment table virtually the entire time. There's been no consistency, and then obviously upon coming back, of course we know he's made a paper. I think that Lallana was a much better player than he is now. I don't think that we're seeing the best of Lallana now anymore. Yeah.
So I think we both sort of agree the back four picks itself most weeks. Obviously,
no.
Yeah, what would you say, Joe Gomez?
Joe Gomez desperately want him back. We were brilliant in that first 3 or 4 months of the season. You think how solid we were. It literally looked, it didn't look like we were going to concede goals. It generally now. Obviously, the last couple of games and things. Obviously, we have looked a lot more solid again. Obviously, defensively. Obviously, we coped well without Van Dijk against Bayern Munich, which was how we did that. I actually don't even know. It's still probably Fabinho, really. But yeah. So yeah, the back four at the moment picks itself.
Yeah.
Until Gomez is back, then again it's a swap for Matip and Gomez, really.
Yeah, like with a defence, because I'm from Manchester, I get a lot of critics when I say Virgil van Dijk's the best centre-back currently in the Premier League.
He's the best centre-back in the world, I think, at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I think every single team sort of in the world would take him right now.
They would. And then you see still on Twitter and stuff, people say, biggest waste of 75 million ever, and all that from some of the sort of your idiot United fans and your idiot Chelsea fans. Or, 75 million pounds, 75 blah, 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 and all that sort of the crap that they spout. 75 million pounds seems like as cheap as a bag of chips for the transformation that Van Dijk has made, obviously, since joining us last January. The change, the sheer change in our defence, I think is unreal. You know what I mean? But you think only 2 years ago we were conceded. Every time opposing teams attacked us, we looked like we were going to concede a goal. On basically every attack, it was frightening. Actually, at times watching Liverpool a couple of seasons ago, you'd be sitting there sort of biting your fingernails, looking, through, with your hands over your eyes, as trying to watch through your fingers, because every time that we were being attacked, you just felt that we were going to concede. The sense of calmness that Van Dijk brings to that defence is invaluable and priceless. And I think that he's more than repaid his £75 million price tag already. I think he's a brilliant player. He's very down to earth as well. If you take note, obviously, of his post-match interviews and things, he's a complete opposite to the likes of Dejan Lovren. There isn't the ego. There isn't the delusion of talent. Obviously Van Dijk is a very, very talented, exceptional centre-back, whereas you've got Dejan Lovren, who's just a delusional idiot. We tell everybody that he's, world's best centre-back, God's gift, basically, in the world. So,
unless Dejan Lovren unless Van Dijk pulls a mask off at the end of the season, and it's Dejan Lovren.
God, I think I would die of the shock. I literally would. I'd be running out and paying for some expensive sign that does say flipping, best centre back in the world, and be getting someone to present it to him.
Yeah, there's an interesting stat as well, because currently we've conceded 15 goals this season.
In 28 games.
Overall this season. And if you look back at Chelsea's team in 2004, throughout the whole season, they also conceded 15 goals. We probably will concede one more goal till now in the end of the season, but we're not getting that same praise that Chelsea team got.
We're not, and it's funny, isn't it? Because although obviously people have referred, obviously, and pundits and so forth, and professionals have referred to Van Dijk's presence, and obviously that and sort of praised Van Dijk out of our back five. You very rarely hear praise for the rest, and for the back five as a collective unit. Defensively, they've been absolutely exceptional. And you think 15 goals in 28 games, that is quite a return. I mean, it's barely, just over half a goal a game, obviously, that equates to, which is nothing. And actually, if you look back a couple of seasons ago, Brendan Rodgers' obviously title charge, 13-14. I think we conceded over 50 goals, didn't we?
Yeah.
50 goals. So you think, because they said we'd scored, obviously, it was the first time, obviously, in the Premier League that a side had scored as many goals, but also, get it right, had scored the most goals, but I'm sure it was, and also conceded the most as well. Conceded such a lot.
Yeah, I think City that season conceded something like 20 less goals.
Yeah, they did.
Obviously, Chris Stamble at Crystal Palace.
Yeah, good old Crystal Palace. I was going to say they've been a real thorn in our sides, really. Palace. They're the side in the league that I think of as our bogey team, really. Obviously, we had that fun match with them, didn't we, at Anfield? Only recently, didn't we? What was that, 4-3 as well? Wasn't it 4-3?
Yeah.
We like to deal with 4-3 games with Crystal Palace. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Even when the defence has improved. That's amazing though, isn't it? Like the Crystal Palace game.
We conceded 3 goals, didn't we? We'd only conceded like 9 or something, haven't we? 10 or something at that point.
So in one game we conceded like a quarter of our goals.
We literally did. Yeah. Yeah, that was mad. It's literally like Crystal Palace put a spell on us.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's literally like we cannot defend against Palace.
At least they beat City.
Yes, that's true.
Did you see Andros Townsend's goal against City?
Against who, sorry?
Andros Townsend's goal against City.
Yes.
That has to be probably goal of the season, I reckon.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it probably does, to be honest. I did, yeah. I was just thinking there. It was a fantastic goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's fair to try and talk about Everton now, as much as we probably don't want to.
No, definitely not. I think we could. I think let's get a couple of nice points out there first about Everton. Obviously, we currently sit 33 points ahead of Everton in the table. There's only 30 left to play for, so I think I read something about Richard Keys. Good little nasty pundit saying all over Twitter before the start of the season that he was tipping Everton to finish above Liverpool this season. Well, we can safely say now that there's no chance that can happen, and that's basically been on the wall since the first match day back in August. Everton, yes. So obviously, if we were to win at Goodison Park, we would obviously move on to 72 points. So we'd have twice as many points as Everton. We won the reverse fixture 1-0 at Anfield, courtesy of that fantastic late but never, better late than never, should I say, Divock Origi goal. Good old Jordan Pickford, of course. Everton fans will remember that Jordan Pickford sort of was caught between two minds as to whether to catch the ball or to sort of push it over. The bar didn't get enough onto it, pushed against the bar and back down, and obviously the rest is history. Good old Origi taps to the back of the net, sent us on our way to basically a December, didn't it? A December in which we won all, was it 9 games? 9 games.
Yeah.
9 games in December. It basically, that lit our run. So the hope really for me personally is that, I wouldn't mind a similar sort of win. I wouldn't mind it would be no good for the nerves, but a last-minute win at Goodison Park I'd take right now.
With a Divock Origi goal.
Another Origi goal. Yes, I'm calling it. That'd be fantastic. I want Jurgen Klopp to bring Origi on at about 75th minute mark, and for it to be 0-0, and for him to come on and score that goal again. Hopefully, another Jordan Pickford, special onto the crossbar and down again.
He sort of jinxed himself.
Yeah.
I remember he said, "I'm not going to make mistakes like Alisson was at the beginning," and then he does that.
Famous last words and all, didn't it? Karma and all that. Karma's a bitch. So he didn't like that. No. I look at this game. Do you know what? Like you say, form goes out the window. But it's funny. I still love the Merseyside derbies. Probably because I don't really know what it's like to lose one. I can safely say I've only really seen us lose a couple, or certainly ones that I can remember. Obviously, notably, I think the FA Cup, things like that. But obviously, their record against us generally is poor. And I'm just trying to think. This game, obviously, at Goodison Park, basically. The hope for me is that obviously we could turn in the sort of performance that we turned in tonight against Watford. That's not to say that I'm expecting a 5-0. That I don't think that will happen. It's a derby, but it would be nice to see an authoritative, dominant performance at Anfield. It was a bit of an itty bitty kind of game. A lot of sort of stop-start, misplaced passes. I think that we weren't clinical in front of goal, which I know has sort of been our issue over the last sort of few weeks as well. So we sort of misfired. I think it was a day where we were misfiring an awful lot. Everton were certainly not great. I think 0-0 flattered Everton. Yeah, I mean, I know that obviously, we stole it at the end with that last ditch goal, but I think we deserved the 3 points on the balance of play. In terms of this game, I'm hoping that we'll win first and foremost, and that it will kickstart a good roll again, like it did in December.
Yeah, that's the hope. I want to talk more about sort of Everton's threats going forward and their overall sort of situation, because I have a few fans who don't really like the new manager.
Okay. Yep.
So I think the problem with Everton is they have very high expectations going into a season. I think it's... Pardon?
Delusional expectations.
Yeah, you can call it that, but I think sort of the top 6 in the Premier League are sort of hugely above the sort of rest of the league in terms of consistency. And like right now,
spent the money. Of course,
Yeah.
Everton have still spent a lot of money,
Yeah,
haven't they?
yeah,
They've spent a lot of money on players that are, well, frankly, garbage. Either garbage or just not performing to the standards at which they should be.
yeah. I do like Sigurdsson. He's been on form for them.
I like Sigurdsson. He's been around for a long, long time, hasn't he? You know, and obviously played for a lot of Premier League clubs. He's a consistent
We nearly got him
player.
at one point,
We did. Yep.
but a shame he's going to be pocketed by Fabinho on Sunday.
It will be. I'm afraid he's going to have his legs crunched, I think, by Fabinho. Obviously, legally, of course. We don't want, obviously, red cards unless they're for Everton players. So, yes, no, he's going to be pocketed. Who else have they got? Richarlison?
Yeah, he's also be a threat.
Steve, he looks average.
Yeah, he's sort of. I think he scored like a hat trick one game, and he was praised as like the next Neymar or something. Then we haven't seen him
At the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was. You sort of had everybody sort of pandering to him, like you say, he's the next Neymar. Everybody bigging him up. To be honest, I think. I think to be brutally honest, the Everton squad on paper is not as bad as their league position. You know, the Everton squad, where you look through the Everton squad and the money that they've invested, Silva's really, well, you'd think he was fortunate really to still be in a job.
yeah,
Really. But Everton back their managers, that's the thing. They don't just chop and change and get rid, do they? Like your Chelsea, you know, and clubs like that. I mean, other clubs I think would have, you know, long dealt the axe to him because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love seeing Everton where they are. Obviously, they're sitting, ninth in the table. They're obviously on 36 points. I mean, that's just from 28 games. They've won, 10 games out of 28.
yeah, something like that.
You know, they've lost 12. That's, you know, you look at that sort of form, and I think Everton have generally consistently as well been sort of a top 6 or 7 team.
Yeah,
you know,
here's a question.
Yep.
What one Everton player would you take at Liverpool?
None. I wouldn't take any. They can keep the lot. I wouldn't stand and watch them at Everton. I wouldn't stand and watch any of their players. No,
Maybe
none of them.
Pickford to shine Mignolet's shoes.
Well, yeah, something like that. Yeah, Pickford. He had a good World Cup as well, Jordan Pickford. I don't mind Jordan Pickford. Yeah, I'd have him. I'd have him as a backup. I'd maybe get rid of Mignolet. I could have him as Pickford as backup to Alisson, or like you say, just get him to shine his shoes.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody else. I think Leighton Baines is probably their next best player, and he's out, and he's basically nearly dead.
Yeah.
So the others, no.
Sort of becoming sort of a stepping stone club.
Pardon?
They're sort of becoming a stepping stone club.
Oh, they always have been, haven't they? Well, they have been for 20 years. I think over the last 20, 25 years, I've never known Everton really be a very relevant football club. Obviously, I know that obviously in the 80s, especially, you know, sort of it was very much Liverpool, Everton. It was those sort of two, you know, obviously that were, you know, massive rivalry then for trophies and, you know, for silverware in general. But Everton, I'm afraid, I think have fallen off the face of the earth or sort of faded into irrelevance. They're not particularly significant now. I mean, you think they're languishing in 9th in the table. They, you know, won't get into Europe, any form of European competition. They've really, I mean, Everton, though, I think even going back a few years, they gave all the top sides a run for their money, you know, in game. They were hard.
Bogey team.
Well, yeah, they were. And now I think people think that they expect to wallop them. because they think they're rubbish, but then they've got the money in the squad. So it makes you wonder how they're so bad.
I think their only way into Europe, because of the current state of the Premier League, they'd have to win a League Cup or FA Cup, but
Yeah,
are Everton going to win a trophy?
never.
I remember
They ain't winning one this year. That's obviously for certain now. Oh God, Everton. I think to be honest, I think they need to rebuild, and I think they need to rebuild again, and I think they need to spend a few £100 million more on crap players in order to maybe win a League Cup. You never know.
Yeah. I remember the last cup final they had, that I can remember. They played Chelsea in an FA Cup final.
Didn't Chelsea score after like a minute?
I think it was Everton.
No, it was.
Louis
It was
Saha.
Everton. You're right. It was Louis Saha. He scored after like a minute, and they still lost.
Yeah.
They still lost. You know what they say, don't they? Sometimes you can score too early in a game, and Everton certainly did that.
Yeah. Like, shit, we're winning in a cup final. What do we do?
Flipping heck, winning in the cup final, and they still couldn't see it through, and they call us bottlers.
Yeah.
Joke. No, would you take any of their players?
Ooh. There is one player I like, but I don't know where he'd get.
Who?
Drissa Gay.
Oh, yeah.
Him, but I don't know where he'd get in. Sort of. You know, he's not better than Fabinho, and that's where he'll majority play, but...
Yeah, he will. No, he wouldn't replace Fabinho. I don't know what it'd be fine for a League Cup team that Klopp likes to put out.
Yeah.
I think we'd be all right. I think we need some more strength in depth, for the cup competition. So it's more than welcome to come and sit on the bench for those, or to start those games. I'd be more than willing. I'd welcome him with open arms.
Yeah, I definitely would as well. But then again, he's worn the Everton shirt, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So he'd probably be setting on fire first.
Yeah.
Just, kill off all the disease and stuff and whatever else there is on him.
Yeah.
But Goodison Park as well. It's not particularly an intimidating ground. I've been there once before. It's not an especially intimidating ground. You never know. Everton fans might decide to watch something like this. Obviously, Liverpool podcast, because they're obsessed with us.
Yeah.
So they might decide to make a bit more of a din at their tin shed. But it's a very quiet ground. It's a very quiet. You don't. I don't know. There's not a lot going on at Everton, really, or at that ground.
I think the performances on the pitch.
Pardon?
I think the performances on the pitch sort of show it around the ground.
Well, yeah, exactly. I think they're translating now from pitch to stands, and I mean, I imagine on days when Everton are playing and we're playing, all Everton can hear is the cheers coming from Anfield and can't hear nothing in their own stadium.
Yeah.
Back. But no. All sort of joking aside, obviously it's a really serious game, and obviously I just hope and pray that we win. Winning at all costs is vital. I don't care if Salah wants to go down and dive. You dive, you get us the penalty. I don't care how we win the game. I don't care if we cheat. I don't care if someone punches the ball into the back of the net and it gets missed. As long as we win the game, obviously sticking with the laws and rules of the game, then as long as we win the game, I really don't care. I'd take a scrappy 1-0 win. Obviously, contrastingly, I'd love a 3-4, 5-0 win. A 3-0 win. I'd love a good thrashing of them, really rub it in and get Silva sacked when, we've had Mourinho sacked after playing us. If Silva got sacked after playing us, that'd be the icing on the cake. So I wouldn't mind that either. But no, it will be a tough game. But I tell you what, at this moment in time, we've got the much better side. I mean, there's no comparison between the two. when you put our starting 11 against their starting 11, I think virtually man for man, we are a better team than they are. They're very much just, the sort of the lower neighbours, really, if you like, in Merseyside at this moment in time. I think most Liverpool fans expect a win. If they don't expect a win, they demand a win, obviously against Everton. And do you know what's funny, actually? I just want to quickly get this out there. One of my funniest memories, actually, I do remember a time when obviously we got beat by Everton. Roy Hodgson was manager at the time. We got beat 2-0, I believe, something like that. And I can remember Roy standing in this post-match press conference and saying, that was the best we've played. And I was like, and literally, honestly, Liverpool fans were raging. He said, he stood in his post-match press conference, it's on YouTube. Yeah. And he said, since I came in, obviously since I've come in, that's the best performance we've had in a 2-0 defeat to Everton. And obviously Liverpool fans, including me, obviously were raging because it was disgusting. It was a shocking performance. And obviously losing, it's obviously you want derby bragging rights anyway, but losing to Everton is never a good thing. But you would not expect your manager to stand there and say, that was the best performance that we've had. It was a good performance. It's like, no, it really wasn't.
I can add to that as well.
Oh, pardon?
I can add to that as well, because Roy Hodgson also said we were like 16th in the league. And he was asked about relegation, and he went, Liverpool's too good to be relegated. And he's the manager. He's the manager just above the relegation zone of the team.
I know, of Liverpool Football Club. And he's standing there saying that Liverpool are too good to get relegated.
Yeah.
They should be nowhere near the fucking relegation.
That was obviously other problems with the club with George Gillett and Tomics.
Yeah, exactly, of course. Good old George Gillett and Tomics that basically nearly had us liquidated.
Yeah. Best thing they ever did was come up with a stadium design. That's about it.
Well, I remember that good old stadium design and the spade in the ground. That lovely photo of them with the spade in the ground. Yeah, that was as far as they ever got to touching the soil. So, literally. But yeah, no, I mean Everton. So what are your thoughts then in general, obviously, in terms of this game against Everton?
It's going to be a very tough game because I know Everton are going to do anything to take points off us.
Of course they are. They're desperate to stop us from winning the title.
Yeah, this would make their season if they won on Sunday.
Yeah, it would.
They would probably accept losing the next 10 games or 9 games after just to win Liverpool.
Oh, I know they would. Yeah, they would. Do you know, they'd celebrate like they'd won the league or like they'd avoided relegation.
Yeah, that's the best they'll ever get.
How they'd celebrate. I think they'd run onto the pitch. I think there'd be, there'd be mass celebrations from them, literally to the point where they'd be on the pitch. And but like they said, look at them. When they were at home to Man City scored and their own fans, Everton fans, cheering.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, I could never do that. Like I don't know. I just deplore and find it appalling and disgusting. Any fan of any football club that would stand there at their home ground and applaud the opposing side scoring and beating you. Like it doesn't matter who they are or the fact that you hate Liverpool. Obviously, they hate Liverpool. They hate obviously Merseyside rivals. They hate us. That's fine. But I wouldn't stand and applaud. It's like, I don't know. United, I don't know, say again we had Man United were top and Man City was second and they came to Anfield and Man City scored against us. Now, and obviously that would stop United winning the league or would obviously at that time would, put the kibosh on them winning the league. I would never, ever, ever, and I can honestly say that in my life, stand at Anfield and cheer that Man City had scored.
Yeah.
I'd be fuming.
Similar situation's going to happen when United face City at Old Trafford.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. Well, it'll be. Do you know what that'll be? United City. That'll be another. United won't want to win.
Yeah, I remember there's a quote by.
You score.
Yeah, there's a quote by Gary Neville.
Yeah.
It's like choosing between who you'd want your missus to like cheat on you with, like your brother or your best friend.
Right.
You don't want either of them, but they're both a bad option.
Well, yeah, that's true, and it is both a bad option. Right. But then he said, did he'd rather City won.
Yeah. There's also it shows the current state of the current club they're supporting. The sort of hierarchy, you'd rather your team lose than just because another team's doing better than you.
Well, I know exactly that's what I thought. I thought it's all right. These Everton fans standing there singing, laughing, cheering. The fact they're losing, I thought. But Jesus, I thought when they were on some at the time like 24, 25 points, I thought I can hardly think you can stand and laugh and stand and cheer. The fact that yet again you're being beaten, I thought. I thought, are they cheering because they expect this every game, or are they cheering just because they just love the fact that City are beating them? Because it's like, are they being ironic or are they being morons? I didn't know which of the two they were being. You know what I mean? Because I just thought, are you just used to losing, or are you just delighted thinking that Liverpool are going to get knocked off? You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I mean, they're obviously sat on 36 points. In a lot of seasons gone past, you'd need 40 to avoid relegation. I mean, and there's only 10 games left. And I don't know, you look at it and you just think, well, like you say, it's the state of the club, really. It's the state of the club. But I would never, ever in my life, I would never celebrate losing, to a team at home.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's a hierarchy of how your club's competing with. Everton's got nothing to play for. They'd pray to God just for us to not win the title.
Well, yeah, that's true. They'll do everything. I bet they're going to be filthy, me, on Sunday.
Yeah.
I really do. I think there'll be some kicks, some slide kicks. I think there'll be some really over-the-top aggressive tackles. And I think we've got to be very careful. I think we've got to not get wound up in the situation. We've got to play the game rather than the emotion.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And we've got to manage the game accordingly, you know what I mean, and manage our emotions, because they will do everything they can, I think, to really frustrate, anger, and try to derail us.
Yeah. I can remember I think it was one of the last Merseyside derbies. Dejan Lovren gave away one of the most ridiculous penalties ever.
Yeah.
I think it was it Rick Olsen?
Yes, it was. Yeah, that's it.
Might have been Lookman, I'm not sure which one it was, but he was on his left foot. He was near the edge of the box.
Yeah.
He just started grabbing his shirt for no reason.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
I said some nasty words.
David Lovren. I was going to say, I've said too many nasty words about that man. I was going to say, imagine if he's named in the starting lineup against Everton on Sunday. Oh my God. I won't be watching. I'd be like, I'm done.
Playing with 3 defenders.
Exactly. I'd be like, well, we may as well just be playing with 10 men. What are you doing? No, he wouldn't anyway. Obviously, no fear of Dejan Lovren getting back into the team.
Yeah, he'd play Fabinho centre-back over him.
I would at the moment. Fabinho did very well as well when he came in, obviously a centre-back. But yeah, makes for a very interesting game.
Very interesting.
Always interesting, but only when you win.
Yeah, it's for some reason, because Everton's in the same boat as other clubs. Sort of like Watford, but Watford are probably better than Everton at the moment. You sort of don't stress as much against Watford as you do Everton. No,
you don't. It's just it's always the emotion. It's the emotion that drives these games, that drives your derbies, and drives obviously obviously playing like United, for example. Again, your fiercest rivals. A lot of it is emotion. It's raw emotion, and unfortunately, I think a lot of the time it means that the game loses a lot of the, the class, the ability, a lot of the actual gameplay and the free flowingness. Obviously, certainly like to our play, for example, almost could go out of the window. And I think purely because of emotion and intensity. And I think what we've got to try to do in the best possible way is approach the game as 3 points. This is 3 points. We want the 3 points. We're not bothered about Everton. We're here to play the 11 men on the pitch and to score and obviously to win the game. But it's a lot easier said than done, and it never happens that way.
Yeah, exactly true. And City also host Bournemouth away, which they'll probably win. But Bournemouth can be on an off team.
Useful at home. They can be useful at home, of course. I mean, they beat Chelsea 4-0 at home. Obviously, I know that City dispatched them as well, Chelsea. But even so, Bournemouth did beat them at home. Bournemouth, I think they're more useful at home than they are away. Eddie Howe generally has them organised and set up quite well. I do expect City to win the game. Don't make no mistakes. Like I'm not daft. I do expect City to win the game, but stranger things have happened.
Yeah, and so back to the Everton game. We'll talk about what's your score prediction.
I'm gonna be brave. I'm gonna say 3-1 Liverpool. Not that I wouldn't be pleased. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't be pleased to concede a goal, but I couldn't say 3-0 because I think that's just, I think that's unrealistic. I would say 3-1 or 2-1 to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Everton to score first. What about
Everton to score first?
Everton to score first and us to score 3 in reply. I think it'll be one of those a bit like Arsenal, where they scored and then obviously they just seemed to anger us. Suddenly let it. So let Everton score first, give them a head start, let them, cheer and be ecstatic, and then let us come right back at them. No, I'm joking. I wouldn't say Everton to score first. 3-1 though, or 2-1 to Liverpool. I think first goal is still important, and hopefully we get the first goal.
Yeah, I'm going for a 2-0 win to Liverpool.
2-0?
Yeah, I think.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't think Everton, other than Sigurdsson, if he puts on a good performance, that'll probably prove me wrong. But I think he's their only attacker who'll do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that, really. I think Sigurdsson, to be honest, is their biggest threat. Any dead ball situation is pretty good. He's very, very, very effective. Well, it can be deadly, let's be fair, really, I guess, from the dead ball situations and free kicks and whatnot. So hopefully not give too many stupid free kicks away in dangerous areas. And then hopefully we'll be okay. But yeah, 2-0, I think that's a good shout. So you're saying 2-0, I'm saying 2-1 or 3-1. Hopefully more.
Can't have two predictions. You can have one. You can't have two predictions, you can have one.
Okay, I'll say 2-1.
Alright, I'll say 2-0.
2-0. Okay, great stuff. So I guess we really want to just say as well, don't we? Just to anybody who's watching, basically to sort of post their score predictions, their starting lineups. What do you think of Everton?
Can have a lot of censored comments.
I know. I was going to say we want some colourful comments. Really, we want some some good sort of creative comments to get the juices flowing ahead of this, because obviously it'll be a feisty encounter. But yeah, we want some sort of good, nasty jokes really about Everton. And then basically just score predictions, comments. Please leave them essentially, and I guess if people wanted to suggest anything for us to talk about regarding Everton, like in our Everton podcasts, and that would be useful.
Yeah.
Anything else really that you want to add?
Yeah, like the page. Follow the Twitter. We're more active on Facebook than Twitter, although everything we post from Facebook goes to Twitter. Leave comments there. We respond to nearly enough every single comment, unless you're. For some reason, our page has a few United fans
It does.
and Real Madrid fans.
Does it?
Yeah, I remember one mentioning something about Salah and Ramos. I'm like, why are you even on the page?
Oh
Although
dear.
there's nothing wrong with other fans, but if you've come on to
Oh,
sort of troll,
yeah.
I
Oh
think
well,
that's part of football.
any trolls watching might want to just go and unlike the page and go away, like preferably.
Our trolls, we don't care. You know, you'll throw banter at us when we lose, and we'll throw banter at your club when you lose.
Yeah, exactly. And let's face it, most people's clubs are losing a lot more than we are.
Yeah.
We're off one, like in the league all season. So yeah, there's not much that sort of people can throw at us losing wise. Few, scruffy draws, but other than that, there's not a lot really that people can throw these days for now, which is quite nice. Makes a change.
Yeah.
All the time.
I'm used to being the one bantered in Manchester about Liverpool being bad, and now I'm the one bantering.
Oh yeah, exactly. It feels great, doesn't it? Really, for it to be on the other foot.
Yeah. So I think that'll wrap up.
Yeah, that's a wrap,
podcast.
really. So yeah, basically just like the page, like you say, like the page, comment, subscribe on YouTube, anything really. Get in touch. Like Lee said, we're very active. We reply, respond to most comments, as many as we possibly can. So yeah, fantastic. It was up, and then just look out for the next one.
Yeah. See yous.
See yous.